Let us be glad, let us be grateful, let us rejoicify that goodness could subdue. You know who. Upon me, I've had to.
How Disney did Rachel Zegler dirty in Snow White. While the film itself is abysmal and full of baffling creative choices, I'm just going to be focusing on how the filmmakers specifically did not do Rachel Zegler any justice in the role of Snow White. The thing is, I do think she was an excellent choice for the role, but I could understand why you may not agree if you've seen the actual film, because they did not utilize her assets at all, and the direction they went with for the character was borderline sabotage. But we'll discuss why that is in a bit. This video is also not going to be about the controversy around Rachel Zegler's tone-deaf comments about the original animated film, because that was blown way out of proportion and she was just trying to sell the film the way the Disney executives wanted her to. Just in a very brash theater kid way that didn't come across how it was intended to. Let's move on from that, it's so tired. So this case of Disney hiring an actress to play one of their most iconic characters being a casting choice that was inevitably going to be met with controversy despite the actress being more than qualified, and then the filmmakers fueling the negativity by doing less than the bare minimum with that actress in the role, is a case that's very similar to what happened with Halle Bailey in The Little Mermaid, and I've spoken about that ad nauseum in other videos, so go check those out. But when it comes to Disney doing Rachel Zegler dirty, it boils down to the costume/styling and the direction of the character. Starting with the costuming, yeah, do I need to say anything about this? I will, but do I need to? Straight out of the local Halloween shop. I thought this was a joke when set photos leaked, because there's just no way that a $300 million production that's based on one of the most iconic, beloved films of all time and is costumed by Academy Award winner Sandy Powell, who did the best costume design of all time in Cinderella, came up with this cheap, gaudy eyesore of a dress. Sandy Powell had to be going through psychosis, because there's no freaking way. Nothing is right about this dress. The fit is awkward, unflattering, and juvenile. The fabrics look so costumey, there's no whimsy or magic, and worst of all, the coloring. Oh, the coloring. Why does this dress's color palette look more cartoony than the damn cartoon? Why does the animated Snow White have a more sophisticated color palette? The live-action film goes for warmer, brighter hues that are saturated beyond the human eye's ability to digest them. And you can theorize about how Disney mandated this for marketability and selling toys and dolls and dresses, but first of all, why would you think something this repulsive would sell? Second of all, why would having a more appealing hue of the same color be detrimental to branding, especially when the original character's color palette is more appealing? And third, why would you spend the resources to hire Academy Award-winning costume designer Sandy Powell, who delivered more than what you could have asked for with Cinderella, when you could just hire any random person to lazily produce a generic costume? I'm gonna be real, as brilliant as she has proven herself to be, I unfortunately do think it was Sandy Powell's fault. And of course director Mark Webb, but Sandy Powell had to be going through psychosis or something to settle on this atrocity, because in interviews she talks about how much time it took her to get the dress just right, and she tested every possible color and fabric, and she emphasized how picky she is and how much of a perfectionist she is, so she is absolutely to blame to some degree.
Snow White's dress was the biggest challenge because you've got a lot to live up to. It had to be unmistakably Snow White, yet be another version, reworking of something that is already very well known. But I like to be challenged. So with Snow White, I was certainly up for the experience. I know when it's the right colour, which is why I'm a bit of a pain.
And especially because she said they chose the colors based on what suited Rachel the best.
I did experiments with lots of different blues, lots of different yellows, specifically chosen to suit Rachel.
But like, no, they don't suit Rachel the best. I have eyes, but I also know about color theory and color analysis and color seasons. Rachel is a deep winter, meaning that cooler, deeper tones and high contrast suit her best. And Rachel herself knows this based on the looks she chose for the film's press run. I mean, it's a bit blurry, but look at these photos of Rachel testing different colors for the dress. The dress is still by no means great, but it looks so much more flattering and appealing and elevated with these darker, cooler tones. The bright blue and neon piss yellow of the final product is just a joke in comparison. How could anyone with eyes ever prefer this? I designed this dress a while back for a different video, but look how much more cinematic of a presence this has, how much more appealing to the eyes it is, how much more it flatters Rachel while still being undeniably recognizable as Snow White. And I did this in like 9 minutes on Photoshop, so yeah. And this whole talk about color theory brings me to the hair and makeup. Like I said, Rachel looks best with high contrast, and so does Snow White. So her hair should have been pitch black instead of brown, her lips should have been red or at least more tinted, and give her some rosy cheeks. There's just not enough contrast, and they're not giving Rachel a fighting chance to prove she can look undeniably like Snow White. And then of course, there's the bob, which I don't hate as much as everyone else, but it's a mistake to style it like this. It needed to be wavier or more 1930s inspired, or just styled differently, because this bob has been easy fuel for trolls, and how can you even fight back when it doesn't look great? As for the peasant dress, I don't hate it, but once again, the fit is strange and awkward, and the overall design could have gone in a more sophisticated direction. Okay, now let's speak on the characterization of Snow White, because this Snow White is not the gentle, soft-spoken soprano who gave representation to all the introverted lover girls with chronic anxiety. She's now a generic girl boss who wants to overthrow fascism, and she belts when she sings. So while it's easy to put the blame on the actress who is portraying the version of the character that is like this is the fault of the director. Rachel is more than capable of portraying classical Snow White. They just didn't want her to. They wanted her to be Elsa, Rapunzel, Moana 2.0 because that's what's profitable in their minds, but that's not Snow White. Moral of the story, Disney made Rachel Zegler look bad when they really could have prevented it and should have supported her, and it is their fault, and she's getting the blame when she was just following the beat of their shitty drum. So tell me your thoughts in the comments, and have a decent day.